You're welcome back. Still watching Business Incorporated here on Channels Television. Yes, just before we went on break, we're telling you about the statement from Dangote Petroleum Refinery, telling us about the need, why they had to increase their the price at the bulk, of course, which will reflect or has already reflected in at the pumps. And they did say that their partners would have to be selling, that's MRS, Hayden, and Adova, would have to be selling petrol from the pump at 970 naira. Remember, we had a Christmas gift during the festive period from Dangote that brought that price down to, I think, 935. But because of increase in crude oil, they say. And we know we're operating in a deregulated market, so you can't expect things like this. But let's get the views of someone who has first-hand experience, and that's talking about the president of Petrol Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria. That's Petron. That's Dr. Billy Gillis Harry. Joins us from our Abuja studio. Dr. Harry, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us on your show. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
So I guess what Nigerians would be told would be, well, you're operating in a deregulated market, so when we see the price of crude increase, we should expect that it will, be reflected at the pump. But I guess a lot of Nigerians would say, what if it's reduced? Can we also expect that there'll be a reduction? Because as at Friday, we saw Brent was about $82 or so. Now it's come down to 80, and WTI is 77. So can we expect that there will also be an immediate or almost immediate translation of a reduction in prices?
Well, thank you for having us. What I would say is that the facts are already laid out by our very senior, partners and colleagues in the business, Dangote Refinery. They've already laid out the facts, and that, I think, is a very commendable one, because this is what we need in the industry. Simple, straightforward, up-to-date, on-time, transparent information, dissemination, and passing. The fact is that changes in the price of landing 1 liter of petrol, of any kind of, whether it's AGO, is PMS, is ATK, any kind of product that's refined, will be affected by economic, environmental factors. And what that means is that if prices of a particular input commodity changes, it will impact on the final outcome price. And if it reduces for some reason, it will take a little bit of time for it to, be reflected in the pump price. But we at the pump, as retail outlet owners, we are very optimistic that things will get better for Nigerians. Clarity of information will be disseminated promptly, especially now that the government has set up the Petroleum Industry Stakeholders Forum. That's really going to be a very big, efficiency tool, to ensure that the industry is very successfully delivered, and Nigerians have the best for it. So straight to your question, is the reduction in the price of Brent and WTI going to affect the prices? The issue is, at what time is that crude oil going to be inside of the refinery? If it is not there at the right time, it will not show until they have that price reduction reflected in the cost of doing business.
So while we appreciate that, but we also know that crude is bought in contracts, I think about 2 months or so. So why should we see that a couple of days increase, or maybe maximum of a week? I don't think we had, was it up to a week last week? And then we see it reflect at the pump or affect us, because this crude was bought like 2 months ago, and the contract for the one that is being bought now, was also agreed about 2 months ago or so. So when we take this into calculation, Nigerians wonder, is it just fun that we see the increase coming in?
Well, I don't think so. First of all, cost of doing business is an internal matter of the company or the organization that is in charge of that particular business. It's not a public discourse as such. And you don't recall that Dangote Refinery is a private, endeavor, private enterprise that is thriving on efficiency and also anticipated profit to be able to carry on the business. So what cost input that makes that difference will be difficult for anybody who is an outsider to understand and explain. So the explanation given by Dangote Refinery, I think, suffices the fact that this is what it is. And because of the efficiency that the regulation tends to bring into the system, this, fluctuation of pricing up and down will be a consistent, occurrence in the business in the coming years.
What about others? I mean, we also have the government or NNPCL-owned refineries now. Can we expect the same thing? After all, everybody is shopping from the same market, talking about crude.
Well, don't forget that the NNPC also have the crude oil. And so there can be some internal business mechanism that we may not be able to explain. But I do believe that NNPC's complementing factor in all sides of the equation, their provision of crude oil to all the local refineries, and also being in the business of refining and also retailing, will certainly, give us much more hope and expectation of better times for Nigeria.
All right. Well, I think I should say congratulations to Petron being recognized officially as in the Stakeholders Forum, the Petroleum Stakeholders Forum in Nigeria. But what does that mean, and what difference can we expect that to make to the sector?
Thank you so very much. On behalf of all of our thousands of members across the country, I thank you for that congratulation, and it was very well taken. The ministry and the president, I believe, has a very fruitful proposition for the future of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, and they thought it wise to bring all the stakeholders under one roof. So what that certainly will do going forward, I believe, that all of us as stakeholders cannot be discussing just our private thoughts or our projections. It must be done collectively with the knowledge of every party that's involved. So that way the industry has just one channel of information, one strategic plan to look at policies, and also to be able to advise on the areas that we think that Nigerians will be better for it. So it's going to be a lot of great expectations. And listening to the Honorable Minister of State, Senator Lukobiri Hennekin, who made the final pronouncement on the stakeholder forum, you can see that his objective and the objective of the President Ahmed Bola Tinubu administration is to ensure that the industry is stable, the industry is stabilized, and there is focus in every one, arm of the stakeholder organizations to ensure that we serve Nigerians. The objective is just to serve Nigerians effectively and more efficiently. And I think that's what the Petroleum Industry Stakeholder Forum, and that's why Petron wholeheartedly endorsed it, and we believe that it's going to be the new way to ensure that Nigerians get the better in the downstream, midstream, and even upstream, because it was a meeting of all the levels of the industry. So we congratulate not just ourselves, but also the industry leaders who have made that possible, and also congratulate the president, congratulate also the minister, who is believed to be going to be the head of that forum, and we should be taking things one time at a step now.
So some time ago, we did hear about, Petron getting import license and all of that. I wonder what's the updates of that?
Sorry, what did you say?
The import license, which we heard about being secured
Okay.
yeah, what's the update on that?
Well, Petron has a for-profit company that is sitting in for all of our businesses also. And just like the deregulation has given leave to, we're entitled to seek for how to import products when it is needed. We're entitled to partner or grow even a refinery, as already is the case, because we have partners who are already working with us on discussing on delivery of 50,000 barrels per day refinery. So a lot is going on, and the industry, supervisors are giving us a lot of support to get to where we want to go. But in the meantime, the stakeholder agreement that importation of PMS should not happen is still ongoing. And you can see that during the Yuletide, there were no crises. The NNPC rolled out a lot of product. Dangote rolled out a lot of product, and some of the other refineries that are doing white products were also doing their best to make sure that prices and petroleum product was stable and affordable and is available. The most critical is that petroleum product is available. That is what will guarantee our energy security. And then, of course, pricing will keep going up and down until we have a very standard pricing that Nigerians can look up to. At the meantime, I think things are looking good, and Nigerians will be the better for it.
What about the crude for naira? That's been applauded by Dangote. How effective is it at this time?
Well, recall that Petron, in our very early advocation, made that pronouncement that it would be very good for Nigerian refineries to buy crude oil from Nigeria in Nigerian naira. And we had a lot of reason for that, and the government also maybe thinking along that line, came up with that policy. And Dangote has been hailing that policy, and I believe other refineries are also giving credit to the president for that. If it was not working, we will not be getting Dangote. It's a consistent appreciation of the president for that singular, policy. So it is a good one, and I believe that it will get better as the industry keeps progressing.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Billy Gillies-Harry, President of Petron. I guess Nigerians, we just have to get used to that movement in the price of petrol at the pump as the global crude oil price moves. Thank you so much for giving us insight into this afternoon.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.